right, TCF family, join me in congratulating Becky for being August Member of the Month. Becky, congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, because some of the people may not know you since you only come to 5 a.m.
So I am originally from Chicago. I moved here about 4 years ago. Started CrossFit about 3 years ago, and I'm a teacher. I was kindergarten teacher last year. This year I'm doing something a little bit different. Going to be working part-time like in a special ed classroom, part-time like intervention, and just, I mean, that's me in a nutshell. I have a daughter, an 8-month-old daughter, and a cute little puppy.
Yeah.
Well, she's not really a puppy. She's 3 years old, but we call her puppy all the
Same
time.
thing, right?
And yeah, so my whole family, they're back in Chicago still. We moved here for my husband's work, and do not want to go back to Chicago for a lot of reasons. Just mainly, number one, it's too cold.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So what's your fitness background?
So I started working out about in 2010. Never really did any sports in high school. Maybe dabbled in soccer, a little bit of track here and there. Never really picked up any weights. And then one day, my dad had joined some personal training place in my hometown, and I decided to join him. It was the first time I had picked up any weights. And probably about a year later, I realized, wow, this is kind of fun, and I was seeing improvements. I was seeing muscles that I never even knew existed before.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. And then, personal training got a little bit expensive after a while, and I kind of just took that to just on my own, went to local gyms and kind of created my own circuit workouts and HIIT workouts. And I, was taught the way to lift weights was to always when I was doing personal training was you had to have a set number, you had to do 4 sets of 20 of each exercise. And so I always thought that that was my mentality, oh, I have to do this and I have to do an entire hour workout in order to see results. It wasn't until I kind of left that personal training, kind of did stuff on my own, and started talking to some other people that were personal trainers, friends and stuff. They're like, no, Becky, you don't need to do 4 sets of 20 every single time. You can do 4 sets of 12, or you have your weights, or any of that stuff. And I was like, oh, are you sure? Is that okay to do? And then I, joined some gyms here and there back in Chicago. And then when I moved here, I had joined O2 Fitness. It's kind of doing the same type of workouts. And then I, in 2018, so after a year of being here, my friend, one of my colleagues, had said, hey, you want to come try CrossFit out? And I was like, I'm getting bored of my everyday workouts. Let me try something new. And I had heard, about CrossFit. And my older sister, had done CrossFit for years and everything. And I was always kind of gave her crap for doing it because I was like, oh, all you do is talk about CrossFit and all this stuff. And
everyone always thinks we do, right?
Yeah. And you lift really, really heavy weights and you look very, very muscular and all this stuff. And I was like, no, I can't do that, but I tried it out, and I found that it was very different than anything I'd ever done. There was a community of people that I got to talk with, and I just loved the competition with myself, and kind of just went from there. Prior to starting CrossFit, I was also an avid runner. I ran a lot, and never really trained for things, really. So, I had run 9 half marathons, never really trained for any of them, but I enjoyed running because that was my time that I would go out and just clear my mind. But it caught up to me.
Yeah.
And in 2020, I ended up having IT band surgery.
And is that just from all the running that you did?
Yeah, running and not really stretching and really doing any of that strengthening stuff for all of that. And it caught up to me. And so, that's kind of, I had to limit myself doing some things and took a break from running and everything. And actually just recently, I'm actually starting to see some of those same things on my opposite leg. So kind of trying to take a step back from some of that running and trying to do my stretches a little bit more, which is very, very hard.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So kind of slow yourself down and make sure you don't get that other leg to where you're leg you had surgery on got to, right?
Yeah. So, and I don't want to have surgery on my other leg.
Right.
I'm not going to.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just I mean, like you said, make sure you're doing the stretches, taking care of yourself, not overdoing things, and that'll help it out. But like, I know you said that your initial goal with running was like to run a full marathon, and then that's kind of taken the back seat since doing CrossFit. And you said that your new goal was kind of to do at least one strict pull-up without bands. Well, I know, what was it, 3 weeks ago or whatever, when we did that single strict pull-up or strict chin-up or whatever, then you do like 5 by yourself?
Yeah, and actually I had never really done chin-ups because, I mean, we don't do them very often here, and I don't really do them like on my own, just at home, you know. So I was a little intimidated by that, and I was like, okay, well, let me do this and stuff, and I was able to get 5 of them without any bands, so I was very impressed with myself. I'd like to do like the pull-up and everything too. Was still working on that, but I'm definitely making progress.
Oh yeah.
By, you know, I've gotten my kipping pull-ups, which is great.
Yeah.
Which I never thought I'd be able to do. And just I've seen a lot of just other things that I've been able to do that I was not able to do before.
Yeah, and it's almost like once you finally chip off that strict pull-up goal, it's like, then what's the next goal that you're going to be shooting for or whatever, right? Is it looking into maybe weights or more gymnastic stuff or whatever that may be?
Yeah, and you know what? When I think about those goals, you know, just in the gym, I've always kind of, you know, I'm still a little weary about lifting like super, super heavy weights.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, I always told myself, I think like for my deadlifts and stuff, I always told myself, it's like, I'm never going to deadlift more than 200 pounds. I don't want to, because I don't want to hurt myself and stuff. And I PR'd at like 215. I was like, okay, well now I'm not going to go like
over
above,
220.
Yeah, you know, so constantly changing, you know, and whatnot. But
I mean, it's like, as long as you're feeling good and stuff, and the movements are feeling fine, and you feel fine afterwards and stuff, it's like, yeah, you don't need to go crazy with the weights or anything like that, especially if that's not a goal of yours. But if things are feeling good, looking good, and you're feeling good afterwards, it's like you can kind of still challenge yourself in different ways, all within reason.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then I know you said that your sister did CrossFit before you started, right?
Yeah, so my sister had done CrossFit before, and you know, at the time, that's when I was just dabbling in, kind of starting to work out and stuff like that. And you know, like, I did give her a lot of crap for it.
So does she give you crap now that you're doing CrossFit?
all the time, all the time. She'll bring it up all the time. Be like, Becky, remember when? Blah, 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 blah. I mean, you know, sister things and whatnot. But it's really great, though, when I did start CrossFit, to have somebody else, too, like, to talk about. Like, I would call her and tell her about my workouts. I mean, I still call her and tell her, like, this is the workout I did today, or, like, I PR'd, or I did this, or what recommendations do you have for this, and everything. I think the first time that I had done the Karen workout, she's like, here's the strategy. You do this.
Do this.
Okay?
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So like when I came in to do it the first time, I was like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. You know, and I was excited. You know, I'm always excited to tell her about it. I think sometimes my husband gets annoyed with me when I tell him about my workout. So at least I have someone else to.
So he's like, God, and it's not just your sister. Now it's both of y'all talking about CrossFit all the time.
Yeah, kind of. But the thing is that, you know, even before I started CrossFit, I feel like and when I started working out and doing things, like, I was still always talking about my workouts with, you know, people, and being like, hey, this is what I did today. I did, you know, this circuit or whatever. And I would, you know, a lot of times share with like my mom too, because I come from a pretty active family. You know, pretty much everyone in my family works out. And so it's just nice to kind of share some of those workouts.
It's something that y'all get to bond over, something that y'all can connect over. And also, if you're super proud of it, you've worked hard for your 215 deadlift, or you're that 5 chin up, or whatever it may be, right? If you worked hard for it, then I mean, you got to be proud of it and show it off a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you put hours and hours of work into it, and if you don't like boast a little bit about it, then it's like, what the heck?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I know you said that your husband's job brought y'all down here. Was that at the diaper place, or?
So no,
Okay.
no. We originally moved here because he had gotten a job with a company, and it was our one chance to get out of Chicago, and we're like,
You're taking it.
Let's do it. We're moving away from family, but let's do it. And we did that. And you know, he was with that company for a while, and then actually about a couple months ago, actually more than a couple months ago, almost at least 10 months ago, almost a year.
Yeah.
He got a job with a different company, and he works for a company that makes diapers and stuff, and he's a product manager, I believe. Really
Maybe.
sure.
We still don't know if he works at a diaper company. No.
Something along with diapers and whatnot, which worked out perfectly because, you
with
know.
Gabby and everything.
Yeah,
right?
so, yeah.
And then what Yeah, I know. I already asked you a question. You said you don't know the answer, but I mean, do you have any recollection of how many diapers that like you've gone through with a eight? You said 8 month old right now, right? Yeah.
You know,
You said 12 a day.
I think I would say at least 12 a day. I would say. I don't know. I stopped counting after a while, but we go through a lot of diapers.
Oh, God.
But I feel like I've learned a lot about diapers since my husband started in that company. I had no idea that there was like a pee indicator on a diaper.
Yeah. Wait, there's a pee indicator? Well, hold on. What?
Yeah, there's like a yellow line, and it turns blue when they pee.
I had no idea. Well, I mean, I don't even have kids, so I don't know why the heck I would know, but that's interesting.
I had no idea. Yeah, so I learned a lot, and just like things that you would never thought that you would learn about diapers,
Holy crap. And so I'm assuming you like kids because I guess you used to be a teacher, or are you still currently?
I am still a teacher. So I've been teaching for 10 years.
Yeah.
Actually, I taught back in Chicago, and then when I moved here, I taught at a couple of charter schools. But yeah, I have my background in special ed, and mainly have worked with kids, kindergarten all the way through 5th grade, combination of just in the general education classroom and then special ed classroom. My passion is in special ed, and I enjoy working with kids on the autism spectrum so much. I don't know why. I think it's just you see so many small little improvements. Even just the little moments are just like aha, like a kid that struggles with like some social skills or something like that, and then to see them interacting or starting a conversation with somebody.
To see those improvements.
Amazing,
Mm-hmm.
Or I've worked with some kids that are nonverbal too, and just seeing just how they communicate and just modifying behaviors and working with all that is just very gratifying. There's just a lot of gratification that comes to that.
Yeah. How'd you get put into being interested with special ed kids and?
I think when I was going to school, I started with elementary education. I really love working with the little kids a lot, and then I was going to go back to school for my master's, and I was like, well, what do I get my master's in? I was like, I really enjoy working with kids that can sometimes be a little bit more difficult to work with, and it's just it's hard to explain, but again, it's just those aha moments that you see all the time, and I love it, and I just it just has there's a special place in my heart for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then do you kind of foresee yourself continuing to do something with special ed kids?
Yeah, I've in the past, well, actually somewhat a little bit recently and stuff, I've kind of looked, see what else can I do outside of the classroom, involving kind of some special ed type things. And yeah, I haven't really found much of anything in regards to continuing to work with special ed kids. So
Mm-hmm.
I like it, and I think I continue to see myself kind of working with that. But I feel like anywhere you go, you're always going to find, different abilities, whether you're an adult or a kid and whatnot. And I feel like, just having that background just kind of helps me kind of just communicate and to work with people of all different abilities.
Yeah, it's almost like coaching where you're having to talk to everyone of all these different abilities, skill levels, backgrounds, and all that stuff. And so kind of like going back into talking about working out and stuff, you work out with the 5 a.m. crew, and you said one of the things that you said was like, I love my 5 a.m. crew. So why do you work out so early? Even on like when you were on maternity leave, you would still show up at 5 a.m. It's like, come on, you can probably sleep in a little bit or something like that. So why do you like working out that early? Why do you like the 5 a.m. crew so much?
So I think the early morning workouts, first of all, right now, and they always have just been like, they just worked out the best timing for me. Like I like to wake up early. I like to get it done, start my day fresh, and get my day going. I also come from a family that wakes up super, super early. I would say like, even just when I lived at home, my family, they'd be up, like my dad would wake up at like 5 a.m. all the time and get ready and go to work. I mean, after the gym here, so Chicago, they're an hour behind. I call my mom every single morning on my way home from the gym. It's 5 a.m. there, and stuff. So they're.
And she's just up.
Yeah. She's. I mean, sometimes she'd be like, "Oh, my alarm was about to go off," But we've always just been a family that has kind of gotten up early, but also go to sleep early. Like 8:30 is like my bedtime.
Yeah, what was I think question of the day recently was what's your favorite time or best time to go to bed? And you're like 8 o'clock, and everyone's like, what?
Yeah. So I mean, you go to sleep early, you wake up early. And I love the 5 a.m. crew here. It's great. Like I said, I come in, everybody is just so motivated. just
Yeah, I
that
mean,
early in the morning.
Yeah, you need to be to wake up that early.
And just there's so much encouragement, and everyone's here ready to go and ready to start their day, and then you're energized for the day. I know when I would go straight to my classroom last year, I'd come in, I'd be like so excited, I'd be like, okay, let's go, we're ready for the day, and I have all this energy.
Everyone's like coming in,
yeah.
wiping their eyes.
Yeah, and all my coworkers were like, okay, Becky, you need to bring it down a little bit, but I think just it's a great way to start the day and to get going.
Yeah, and then I mean, that you're always gonna be able to do that time, because what the heck are you gonna have going on at 5 a.m. in the morning, right?
Exactly.
Work's never gonna get in the way. Your kid's not gonna maybe get in the way a little bit, but like you're not gonna have like extracurricular activities or anything like that in the way. And then I know you love country music, but me and you need to like get together and do like a coup against the 5 a.m. class to start playing only country music in the class, because I mean, I think we're the only people that like to work out to country music, sadly.
Yeah, I think there was that one day I came in and I was the only one here.
Yeah.
And I was like, can we listen to country? And I'm like, yeah.
I was like, heck yeah, what do you want?
We should dedicate one day a week for the 5 a.m. to listen to country music, and then slowly add in.
Yeah, starting today, one day a week now. Yeah. And from now on, it's going to be 5 a.m. Or country day at 5 a.m.
Exactly. So I hope the 5 a.m. crew's ready.
They don't know what's going to hit them yet, because this will come out a little later. But I know some other things, like you kind of mentioned, was like you love burpees a lot.
Yes.
And don't you have like a shirt that says something like, I love burpees or something like that?
Yeah, I have a shirt that says, never mess with a girl that does burpees for fun, which is probably not the popular opinion. But I don't know why. For some reason, I love burpees. And that was like the one thing that when I had to start modifying when I was pregnant, I was like, oh,
You're sad.
Man, I'm so sad. And then as soon as I was able to start back up again, that was like the first movement I did at home. I was like, I'm going to do it.
Just do like what's that one open workout? 7 minutes of max burpees or whatever.
Oh, I don't know. I never did that one.
Oh.
But I've done the death by burpees, and I loved it. It was fantastic.
God.
We should do that.
How far did you get in the death by burpees?
I want to say 17, maybe.
And so that's 17. You finished the 17 burpees in a minute, or you were working on those?
I don't remember. Somewhere around there. But
it's a lot of burpees.
It's a lot of burpees, yeah. I don't know. It's just a fun movement. I love that you just throw yourself on the ground and get back up.
Yeah. It's really funny, because like some people you'll see, like, because I'll try and teach new people how to do burpees. I'm like, fall, and then they won't fall, and then the one time they actually do like fall down, I'm like, okay, maybe not that hard on the ground.
Yeah.
I've seen some people just like throw themselves flat on the floor. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, maybe have a little bit of like self-preservation or something like that.
Yeah. No, but anytime there's burpees, like I'll always because I'll look at the workouts like the night before, and I'll be like, tell my husband, I'll be like, okay, I don't think I'm going to go tomorrow unless there's burpees.
Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's another unpopular opinion that you have.
Yes.
But kind of going into like why you joined the TCF family and everything like that. So what was your biggest challenge prior to joining the TCF family?
So prior to joining here, I was a member of another gym, and there were some changes that were happening, and I just was not necessarily happy and needed to find something different. So I think one of my challenges, was just kind of finding another gym in the area that was close enough, that had the times that I wanted, and that was a little bit like along my price range and whatnot. And surprisingly, there's not a ton in the Fuquay area. I think more so out in Cary and whatnot. So that was a challenge in itself, is just finding that. And then also kind of, coming into a place where I didn't know anybody too, and so I think that was a big challenge. But I think also too, just a challenge just in general of starting CrossFit and stuff too, like that, was just changing my mentality on what my workouts were supposed to be, and being able to be more comfortable with lifting heavier weights and doing movements that I had never done before.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So I think that was kind of like a challenge in itself. I also, coming here too, I started when I was 20 weeks pregnant, and so and coming off of, I had a slip disc in my back, and so coming off of a back injury also, I was coming in and had to modify things a lot.
Like burpees. No.
Yes, like burpees. Yes, exactly. And so I think that was a challenge in itself, is knowing that I needed to modify things and being okay with modifying them when I knew I could actually do certain movements and stuff. Like I would, I'd be like, oh, I know that I can lift heavier, but I needed to make sure I was careful just coming from that back injury
Yeah.
and then being pregnant and stuff. And so that was like just an internal battle with myself because I needed to make sure I was being safe.
And also, I mean, before you joined here, like you said, you were somewhere else. So it's like knowing, hey, I've done this prior, but it's probably not smart for me to do the same thing right now because of injury or because of the pregnancy or just because it's been a little while since you've done CrossFit or whatever it may be, right? It's being smart, like you said, with that internal battle with yourself.
Yeah, and I had hurt my back pretty bad doing a movement at home, and I literally thought, I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. I'm never gonna be able to work out again because my back hurts so much. And I took 12 weeks off completely, didn't do anything, and it corrected itself. And I still am kind of a little weary of certain movements and stuff just because I want to make sure I'm being careful, and I don't want that to happen again because that was terrible.
Yeah, definitely. So. Well, knock on wood, right?
Yes.
And so, like, what were some things that changed after joining the TCF family?
I think I am, PRing like crazy, I would say, for the most part. Improving on my lifts. I think that, the coaches are amazing. Just learning new techniques and just the little things that I never really paid attention to before.
Yeah.
And I think that I've just made improvements in a lot of my lifts. I think just made so many improvements and just more comfortable with a lot of my lifts. And I love the community here. Everyone's friendly, and I love it.
Yeah. I know that one of the things you said was that you're doing things that you may not have thought were capable for you, like lifting more than 25-pound dumbbells.
Oh yes, yeah. So I was very stuck on those 20-pound dumbbells for everything, like shoulder to overhead, anything, like snatches, like dumbbell snatches. And I was like, no, I'm not lifting heavier because this is what I've done. And Joe you told me, you're like, you got to 25, and I was like, I don't want it. And now I'm at the 25, and now I'm being told to lift heavier, but I think I need a little bit more time with the 25.
Yeah, it's like everyone's struggling with the dumbbells, and Becky's just sitting here going like this, flying through them. It's like, okay, Becky, I think you need to go a little heavier.
I think I do find sometimes I do play it a little bit safe during some of my workouts, and lift what I know I can do. And I think sometimes I'm a little bit hesitant to challenge myself, but I think the coaches are like, hey, like I've seen you work out, I've seen you do stuff, like I think you're capable, let's try it and whatnot.
I mean, it's especially with like, hey, I've seen you do, we'll keep dues in the 25-pound dumbbell, 20-pound dumbbell. It's like, I've seen you do these movements efficiently, well, all this stuff with this weight, so I feel 100% comfortable with you going a little bit heavier and trying it out. Obviously, there's certain things on certain days where it's like, hey, today's lighter day, today's heavier day, whatever it may be. Today's a great opportunity to try that heavier dumbbell or whatever it may be. But it's like kind of listening to your body and stuff. I mean, there's nothing wrong with playing it safe, but I just thought it was really funny because it was probably like for like 3, 4, 5 weeks or whatever. I think every single time there's a dumbbell workout, you immediately grab the 20s, no matter what I said. Lighter dumbbells, you grab 20s. Heavier dumbbells, you grab 20s. And it's like okay, Becky, I think you need to move away from the 20s somehow.
I was so attached to them.
Just like, I like the 20s.
Yes.
But any other like positive impacts that you've seen, like I know you, again, like the dumbbells being able to do more, doing the chin-ups or anything along those lines?
I think that, I've gotten my kipping pull-ups, which I was very excited about, and I feel like I was never going to be able to do those. And then actually just recently was able to get toes to bar. I had done them in the past, but like maybe 1 or 2 and never been able to really string them together. And I was able to just like a couple days ago be able to get, or last week, 6 in a row. And I surprised myself. I was like, let me just try it. And I was like, wow, I can do this. and so it's just really amazing to see like where I started and where I am right now, just in all those movements. I also have, from my previous gym, I wrote down all like my 1 rep maxes and my 3 rep max, 5 rep, all that stuff. And so I have somewhere to kind of like base current things on too as well, and to see like where I was and like what date I had done those too. And so just seeing those just improvements, even if they're small, even going from like a 20 to 25 pound, dumbbells and stuff is just, I feel proud of myself, and I'm like, wow, I can do this. And it's great. There are some days where I know I can lift heavy, and if I get my mind just gets in the way sometimes, and I'll try it, and I get really frustrated, and I'll get like really down on myself. And then there have been times, you know, in the past where I remember like doing like a 85-pound power clean was like a really big struggle. Like I could not get past that at all at my previous gym. And I'd get in the car and I'd be like crying. I'd be like, I know I could do it. You know, and now I'm like, okay, yeah, I got this. And, you know, it's just a lot of it's my mindset too. And it's just, I get in my head a lot.
Yeah. It's almost like you see your progress on other things. So it's like, okay, this 85-pound power clean or whatever it may be, it's like, okay, if I can do 5 pounds more, 10 pounds more in my power clean, I should be able to do a little bit heavier weight or this weight or whatever weight it may be for a few more reps.
Yeah.
Right? Or I build up that confidence a little bit more. If I can do more here, then I should be able to do a lighter weight, a little bit more reps.
And that's why too, like I know some people just put weights on, you know, don't even count them. It's like, I need someone to do that for me, so I don't count them.
Just start putting weights on, and then it's like, yeah, there you go. Count it up at the end.
Exactly, yeah.
And then what would you say to someone on the fence about joining?
I'd say that if you're on the fence, I mean, there's never a wrong time to start. I mean, no matter how young or old you are, if you want to try something different, if you want to challenge yourself, if you want to go outside of your comfort zone, try it. And then also you get what you put in, you know. So you can work at, you know, if one day you want to just give it your all, go ahead. The other day you want to scale it back a little, that's fine too. And so what's nice is that it's your fitness. You get to do what you want to do, and it's a great way to challenge yourself, I'd say.
Yeah, awesome. And then anything else you want to add, Becky?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah.
I love it here. It's great, and I'm really happy that I switched over from my previous gym, and I hope that I continue to make improvements and whatnot, and hopefully don't have to have surgery on my other leg.
Oh, God. Knock on wood again.
Exactly.
But thanks again for taking the time, Becky, and congrats for being August Member of the Month.
August.
August.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.